David's confident they'll be in and out of the water long before the cloud reaches them.
So what's your dive plan, mate?
Well, we're gonna drop in around 30 meters, have a look around.
The plan is to dive for around half an hour, while the boat stays in position above them.
The boatman went over exactly where we would be dropped off, exactly when and where we would be picked up. I didn't pay too much attention. I just let them do their thing. But the anxiety just kept growing and growing.
Come on in, the water's fantastic.
Then I got my gear on. I looked at the boatman and I said,
"Here I go. Say a prayer for me."
And I thought, well, why did I say that? The dive was completely different than anything I'd ever experienced. It was amazing. We started going through this white haze. It was quite dreamlike, and there were bubbles funneling up around us coming from the vents of Kavachi.
The volcano is out of sight beneath the divers, far deeper than they can safely descend. All they can see are clouds of sulfur dioxide rising towards them from below.
It was such an amazing celestial scene. It was just breathtaking.
After 30 minutes, the divers surface.
That was amazing, wasn't it?
It was awesome.
The weather has changed dramatically. The dark cloud David spotted earlier is now above them.
God, it's really choppy now.
Yeah.
There's the boat, it's miles away.
Yeah, the current must be really strong. Hey! Hey, guys! Hey!
We're behind you!
Hey!
I remember thinking, oh, okay, that's no big deal. I was just looking forward to getting in the boat and putting a towel around myself. And then they didn't turn around.
They got the engines on. I can't hear us over the engines. Turn them off! Cut the engines! Turn it off! Hey!
I said, David, why aren't they turning around? And he couldn't answer that question.
You're yelling, you're screaming at the top of your voice. Why isn't he looking? We're here. Can't you see us?
The boatmen know the divers must be out of air by now. They expect to see them surface, but the dark sky has made the divers impossible to spot. While the engine is keeping the boat in position, they have no idea that a strong current is pulling the divers further away.
Where are they going?
They're not going anywhere. It's,
They are.
no, it's the current. It's pulling us away. Hey!
Yes, you feel anger. You feel like, come on, turn around and have a look at us. Why aren't you looking at us?
Hey!
The current was pushing us away. We could see him. They couldn't see us.
Running the engine to hold the boat in position is burning up fuel. If the boatmen don't leave soon, they risk being stranded. One of them makes a desperate attempt to locate the missing divers, but he has no idea just how far away they are now. With the fuel tank almost empty, the boatmen have no other choice but to return to the island to get help.
Guys! Go!
It happened quite quickly. We watched them disappear, as if the sea swallowed them up. I said, David, this is bad. This is really, really, really bad.
David and Melissa are now stranded, alone in the ocean. The nearest land is more than 20 miles away. All they can do is pray for rescue.
I still had faith that they would come back, ride over the waves like heroes and pluck us out of the water. But they didn't.
We are absolutely alone, miles away from land. I knew we were in trouble.
So do you think we could swim for it?
No. It's too far. They're gonna be looking for us down current. I think we should just stay put. Huh?
I said, let's not ruin the chance of them finding us. Because the boat driver was the only one that knew we were in trouble. And he knew that if he'd come looking for us, he'd come down current. So we were gonna stay down current.
How do you know they're coming back?
Well, if they went to get gas, it's an hour there. And it's an hour back, so. I think we'll be out of the water by 4 o'clock the latest. Yeah?
David had come up with a timetable, so to speak, of when the boatmen might return, which was about 4 o'clock. I thought, okay, we might be here a while. But then the uncertainty started seeping in.
David, are you looking for something?
Just being aware, that's all.
I really, really, really do not want to get eaten by sharks.
Hey, you need to calm down.
I think at that point, a bit of anger was coming in. He should have known better. How could we be in this situation?
Please don't tell me to calm down. We're in the middle of the ocean. You've lost that boat.
I think I have the right to vent here. I won't say what I said, but I swore a little bit.
Melissa's reacting as one might expect. She had a little bit of a dummy spit and she was swearing profusely. She's relying on me to ensure that everything went smoothly. And at that stage, I'd shot myself in the foot big time. And it just was turning sour as the moments went on.
David and Melissa ignore each other, forgetting they're floating in a powerful current.
David! David!
The current pushes that far away. It was scary.
Come here!
We had to try to swim against a knot to a knot and a half current.
Swim to me!
Just a couple seconds of being apart, I thought, oh my gosh, we just can't let that happen.
I took her regulator, shoved it in through my BC, which was an easy way of making sure that we didn't get separated. Because separation in a scenario like that can be deadly. Not that I'm not a control freak, but I had to help stay in control for us to survive.
David said, let's just conserve our energy. That's the most important thing right now. So the plan was that I would wrap my legs around his waist and my arms around his neck. So his face was right here. But I didn't want to look at his face. I didn't want to be in that situation. I didn't want to be in the middle of the ocean. But what choice did I have?
Hey! Hey!
20 miles away, the boatmen get back to the island and raise the alarm.
Lost 2 divers out there.
The locals know the seas around here well. They've all heard the stories of giant hammerhead sharks preying on fishermen. They know they may not have long, and search parties race out on the hunt for the missing divers. David and Melissa can only hope that help is on its way. But with each passing hour, they're getting more nervous.
In the Solomons, there's a phenomenal amount of sea life there. Our biggest fear at that stage, I believe, was sharks.
I'd imagine them circling below us. This big mouth coming up and tearing into one of us.
What was that?
What?
Was that you?
What?
Something's on my leg. Ah! Get it off!
It's my gauge. It's my gauge.
Look, get it off
I'm
me!
trying. Would you stop kicking? Look, there's nothing down there.
There's everything down there.
If there's anything dangerous down there.
Like sharks, you mean?
Yeah.
Just say it!
Yeah, and you keep kicking and splashing, they're sure as heck gonna come and check us out, right?
All I could think about was sharks. One nibble, one drop of blood in the water, and then we're gone.
The search parties have finally reached Kavachi, but they have no idea that David and Melissa have already drifted miles away in the current. They continue to search above the volcano. David was convinced they'd be found by 4 o'clock. Now it's almost 5. They're still 20 miles from land, and there's no sign of rescue.
It was very clear that David wanted to stay still. He didn't want to move. He wanted to conserve his energy. I remember turning around and just looking all around me and just seeing all this water. And then looking at the land again and thinking, there's no other option.
I really think we should try and swim.
David looked in my eyes and he knew at that point that there's no arguing. We're gonna start swimming.
Okay. Take it nice and easy, okay? No splashing. I'm gonna keep my head underwater and keep looking. Okay? Nice and easy.
Okay.
I remember him saying, let's just get very slowly, peacefully on the surface, just moseying through. There's no reason to bring attention to ourselves, and don't kick too hard because we'll just get exhausted.
With 30 years diving experience, David knows that splashing about on the surface creates its own risks.
I didn't want to become part of the food chain because having watched the oceans and observed what happens there my whole life, there was a pretty strong likelihood that some sharks would come up and have a good look at us. You're on edge, totally. It was not a good feeling, not at all.
While David keeps watch below the surface, Melissa scans above for any sign of danger.
You see these pointed gray waves, and then all of a sudden you think you see fins.
What?
And so your mind plays tricks with you.
What?
Nothing. Sorry.
It was a constant battle to not let my imagination go.
But the dangers beneath the waves are not just in Melissa's mind.
Ow! Something gripped me.
What? Where? What? Ow!
Then I looked in the water, and there were millions of these little globs, little translucent balls.
Oh, jellyfish! All right, look, they hurt. They're not gonna kill you, okay? Swim through them.
We were swimming through countless amounts of them. We were getting stung all over the place. I remember trying to count the stings. I got up to 64. But then it all blended into one. It was just the zapping pain that was shooting through my entire body.
Oh, my lip is killing me.
My hands are on fire.
That's okay. I'll go down in about an hour. Are you okay to go on?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Desperate to escape the jellyfish, the divers splashed around on the surface. They've broken David's golden rule and become a magnet for predators.
As I'm looking around, I'm looking straight down, and I see this little dot coming.
I felt David, he pulled me to the right, abruptly.
David, what are you doing?
And I pulled back, and he pulled me, and I'm like, what?
It was coming straight at me from the depths, literally, from what I could see, straight at my face. It was this huge, ugly barracuda, probably 5.5 feet. They can be very aggressive, and they have been known to attack people before.
David knows the great barracuda has a ferocious bite.
All he has to do is hit me in my hand, my arm, my leg. If I start bleeding, I've got another major problem. I've got a problem with sharks.
Against two sets of razor-sharp teeth, David's only defense is his camera.
I needed something to ram and protect us. That was the first thing to use.
It circled around us and then it went off. He couldn't believe it didn't do anything else.
It's gone.
But I kept looking for it because I just didn't want to be caught by surprise by one of those.
With daylight fading, the search parties have no choice but to return to the island. They've spent over 6 hours searching for the missing divers. They'll start again at first light, but everyone knows that by then, the odds are they'll be looking for dead bodies.
As the sun went down, I felt really sad. I didn't understand why they didn't come back for us. I was hurt. How could this be? How could they not come back?
Maybe they're back there, look.
We should just keep swimming. Oh, come on, we're covering good ground.
Outwardly, you're bold and brave, and you're sort of smiling, and inside, you're packing it. Sun was starting to set, and that was the part I was dreading. With night coming, that was a total different scenario because a lot of animals come up to the surface and feed at nighttime. I found myself thinking we were there to get eaten.
The exhausted divers are only 4 miles from land. But for David, this is the most terrifying part of the entire journey.
I didn't totally mention to Melissa at that stage that I believe the greatest fear we're going to have is that last bit, right in close to the shore, because it's an area I wanted to fish, because there's so much sea life there, including your upper major predators. And at the same time, I didn't tell her about 2 big 20-plus foot hammerheads that I heard about that had been bothering the fishermen. So that deeply concerned me, but she didn't need to know that.
But what David doesn't know is that his fins have been chafing his ankles. He's now bleeding profusely. Hammerhead sharks can smell 1 drop of blood in 1,000,000 drops of seawater. It's only a matter of time before David attracts attention.
I remember thinking, what's that piece of plastic sticking out of the water? It looks like a sailboat's on its end, or like almost like a kayak sticking straight up out of the water. Well, what's that plastic?
Oh, David! David! My shark!
What?
I saw a fin!
That woke me up.
What?
I said, did it sort of look like this? And she says, yeah. And what I sketched with my finger was a dorsal fin of a hammerhead shark.
Just offshore, they've spotted a hammerhead shark.
I'd never seen anything like this. It was huge.
You're talking a 6+ meter shark. That's a big shark.
I figured if it's gonna happen, I want it to happen fast. I hope it doesn't bite my leg. I hope it just sinks its teeth right into my heart. And bang, it's over with.
This was my greatest fear. You're just hoping that that shark isn't hungry. With all the bad things that have happened, a little bit of good luck would be nice right now.
They've traveled almost 200 miles south from the Brazilian city of Manaus to one of the Amazon's remotest backwaters. They plan to spend 2 months exploring the region. Their base, a small lodge in the heart of the rainforest. Around it is a network of clearly marked forest trails. Dave and Crystal spend their first 2 days checking out the shorter ones. Then they decide they're ready to take on the longest. It's known as the White Trail, and it stretches 3 miles deep into virgin rainforest. Dave and Crystal set off in the morning with enough water for a 3-hour hike.
We left just before 10 o'clock and expected to be back in time for a late lunch.
They've spent 2 years reading up on the rainforest, but nothing prepares them for the real thing.
As soon as we went in, we started to see more than we had ever seen before, such as bats and different kind of bugs than we had ever seen, and it was a fantastic morning. I was really excited.
Dave, look.
We had tunnel vision. We were focused on one thing, and that was exploring and seeing the rainforest. We were oblivious to any dangers that were involved.
They are so absorbed by the sights and sounds of the forest, they don't notice that they've stepped off the marked trail.
Our awareness was elsewhere. It was on the trees, on the animals, on the sounds.
They are now following paths made by animals.
As we got further along, the jungle seemed to creep in on each side. We now had to walk in a single file line.
Then the path completely disappears. For the first time, they realize they're no longer on the trail.
That's when I didn't know what to do. I was really worried.
Let's see the map.
I think I forgot the map at the lodge.
I had left the map sitting on the dresser in our cabin.
Dave.
Look, I can remember it. I can.
The map Dave left behind was a hand-drawn sketch of the area. He clearly remembers it showing the lodge at the bottom, which would normally indicate that it lies to their south. But the map isn't laid out in the usual way. To get back to the lodge, they actually need to head north.
If we head south, that should take us back.
You're sure?
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Okay.
Come on, let's go.
Hiking south is the worst decision Dave could make. Ahead, there lies nothing but thousands of miles of rainforest. Uninhabited, except for rainforest creatures, many of them highly dangerous. 2 hours later, they're getting worried.
This way.
We had been walking far longer than we should have been. We should have been back by then.
There's not much daylight left. It will soon be nightfall.
I'm not going to stay out in the forest. I can't let this happen. We have to find our way back before it gets dark.
I knew that once it got dark, we weren't going to be able to continue.
As darkness descends, any chance of finding the lodge today disappears.
That's really the first time we started to have some panic.
What time is it?
It's almost 6.
We should be back by now. If we'd been walking in the right direction for this long, we would have...
I know.
I don't think he wanted to deal with it. He didn't want to deal with even having to think about sleeping out there.
I was frustrated at myself. I felt responsible for getting us lost and felt responsible for finding the way back.
Crystal, you know what I'm thinking?
We're gonna have to spend the night here.
Yeah.
We just picked a spot to stay, a cleared area, and we just sat down to wait out the night.
Chris, I am so sorry about this.
It's okay. You buy me a beer when we get back, and we'll call it even. Okay?
Okay.
But they both know how vulnerable they really are. The rainforest is teeming with nocturnal predators.
A lot of the poisonous snakes, they wander through the forest at night. The jaguar comes out at night. You don't have a lot of choices of protection.
Dave and Crystal share a single thought. Can they make it through the night alive?
Chris, there's something out there.
The Amazon at night is a terrifying place to be. Dave and Crystal are totally defenseless, with no way to protect themselves from predators.
We weren't going to try to sleep at all. We were going to stay up, and that way if something stumbled upon us, we would be ready.
49 bottles of beer.
Take one. Jeez, did you hear that? Chris, there's something out there. Do you think it could be a jaguar?
The Amazonian jaguar stalks its prey under the cover of darkness. It can kill with a single crushing bite to the head. Whatever it was, Dave has scared it off for now. They spend a sleepless night, alert to every tiny sound. Dave and Crystal have survived the night unscathed, almost.
I'm covered in mosquito bites.
Be grateful that's all that bit you.
Very funny.
So, what's the plan?
Well,
Dave needs to get them back to the lodge fast. Crystal's on medication for her depression, and he knows she doesn't have her drugs with her.
She had never missed a day on that medication.
this trail heads south, so it should take us right back to the lodge.
Okay. So we'll be back for breakfast.
Yeah. Let's get moving.
I truly believed that we were close and we were heading in the right direction. We just had run out of time the night before. It was going to be a breeze.
But with every step, they continue to move further away from the safety of the lodge. Four hours later, the temperature in the forest has soared. The heat and the way they're pushing themselves mean that Dave and Crystal are sweating out almost 4 pints of fluid an hour.
We were starting to get depressed about our situation. We were starting to get frustrated. The temperature was rising really fast. It was getting up to 95 degrees. We were sweating profusely.
Let's take a break.
Dave, I'm out of water.
When I realized that we were out of water and it was hot and it was 10 o'clock, I really started to realize things weren't just going to be okay.
We knew that we were losing water so quickly and things were not going to function right. Our brain was going to start to trick us and our body was going to give out eventually.
There's got to be something around here.
The irony is that the Amazon basin is one of the wettest places on Earth. Over 9 inches of rain can fall in a single month, leaving puddles of water everywhere. But they face an agonizing dilemma.
I didn't know what to do. Should we drink water and possibly get very sick, or risk getting very sick from dehydration?
I have an idea. Give me that.
My plan was to use my sports bra as a filter.
Okay, now I want you to pour that through the top here.
Crystal's bra could actually filter out a number of nasty parasites. But it won't get rid of smaller microorganisms that could make them dangerously ill.
Okay. Bottoms up.
I don't know about this.
We don't have a choice.
Well, cheers.
I took a small sip and kind of let it sit in my mouth for a second to taste it.
Tastes okay. Kind of chalky.
We were both worried about drinking water, but in the end, when it's 95 degrees and you're sweating like that, it's gonna be more painful not to drink it.
Rehydrated, Dave and Crystal pick up the pace. But they must stay constantly on guard. The forest is alive with creatures that could kill them with a single bite.
We're consistently listening to sounds and trying to figure out what was in the forest around us. I didn't want to touch a branch that we didn't know what was on that branch. We wanted to watch our steps.
Whoa.
What is it?
A snake. Let's go another way.
They're lucky. A few more steps and they could have trodden on the snake. The Amazon basin is home to some of the most poisonous snakes in the world. One bite could mean a slow and agonizing death. By mid-afternoon, Dave is resorting to a new desperate tactic in his search for the lodge.
I was trying to keep us in the same area of where we got lost in, kind of zigzagging back and forth, hoping to stumble upon the trail.
Let's try over there.
Crystal was starting to get a little bit frustrated with that strategy.
Dave was literally almost walking in circles and didn't realize that that's what he was doing.
Crystal is starting to feel the pressure.
My brain was saying, things are going downhill.
Now, which way are we going?
East.
East. 20 minutes ago, we were going south.
Yeah, well, we've got to try all directions. Maybe we should head north now.
Dave, this is crazy. I can't stand to listen to you talk about directions you know nothing about. You don't know where we're going, and all we're doing is walking around in circles.
Dave had kept coming up with a different strategy every few hours whenever one didn't work. And that wasn't working for me.
We need to rethink this.
All right, then. Well, what do you think?
I thought we needed to come up with a strategy and continue using it until the end.
That way.
Okay.
What neither of them realize is the only direction that can help them is north.
We chose southeast. We will walk in this one direction for as long as it takes. If it takes us 40 days to get out of here, we're gonna walk southeast.
Hours later, and the jungle is just getting denser.
We were getting down. We were getting scared and worried.
Everything just looks the same.
The jungle is so dense and so thick, you can't see more than a few yards in any direction at any one time.
Dave has an idea. If he can get up high, he might just be able to see the lodge.
The knots in the vine were ripping at my hands and it was hurting me. My arms were tired, I was exhausted. And I looked up and I saw that I had not made any progress. It was still 150 feet up to the top.
He is weak from 2 days without sleep or food.
Are you okay? Did you see anything?
Yeah. Rainforest.
Why is no one looking for us?